Hey everyone, Chris here from Realridesharestories. On this channel, we do a lot of things within the rideshare industry, whether it be tips and tricks for both passengers and drivers, as well as what happens outside the vehicle and bad driving compilations, as well as what happens inside the vehicle during actual rideshare rides. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. But before we get started, if you have a crazy Uber or Lyft experience, whether you're a passenger or a driver, record it, send it my way, maybe you could be featured on the channel. All right, so we're going to be talking about two of the dash cams that I use, give a good review on both of them. Basically, it's going to cover their functionality, cover how they record, give their drawbacks, limitations, any of that stuff. So first, I'm going to start off with this one right here, which is actually a Spycam. So this is not really a dash cam, but you can definitely use it for a dash cam. Price point's great on it. It's $35. Inexpensive at all. It is records 1080 in no light, and it has a widescreen lens. So if you put this on the inside of your car, get in the cabin, you'll pick up everything, no problem. It also comes with this little clip here. So when I actually have it, I have it hanging up right here, so it'll actually pick up the entire cabin. It does record great for low light or no light. For $35, it's not a bad little camera. It also comes with this little base here, so if you wanted to stick it onto something, because it's got the little sticky tape, and then a little magnetic base, so you can kind of put it any angle you want. It's definitely great for that, so if you want to put it right on your dash, you could do that and get quite a bit. It has a little microphone on it. Not great audio, but it's good enough where it will be able to pick up any interaction between. It charges via micro or mini USB, and it also takes an external hard drive to be able to record it. So it uses a micro SD card. In the reviews, or I'm sorry, in the description that I found on Amazon, it says it only is able to take up to 64 gigabytes. That's not true. I did a little bit of research, and you can do up to 256 gigabyte for a micro SD card. I use a 128. I get hours and hours of footage on this thing. So it's a great camera for that. Now let's talk about some of the drawbacks on this thing. One, the picture quality isn't great. Yes, it records in 1080, but it's not a crisp, clear, good picture. It looks a little bit grainy, and then it also looks like it has some heat marks on it too. And the heat marks are just basically like where little pixels look like they're burnt out. So it's not necessarily the greatest for picture quality. Again, the audio is not the best either, but it does work. So if you're just looking to record interactions and have it on hand, this is a great camera for it. Some of the drawbacks, though, on it is definitely the way it functions. So these three buttons on the top right here, they are the power button, the record button, like take a picture, and then the way you press them, and if you press them within a certain amount of time, they'll do different things. So it might shut off the LEDs for like daytime or highlight recording, or it will, you'll put them on. Quite a few different things that you need to know within the pressing the buttons. There's a little pamphlet that it comes with, so it does take a little bit of a learning curve, but this thing will work as is for 35 bucks. Not too bad. One of the big drawbacks, though, that I have with this camera is that I have to press the reset button on this thing all of the time. Every time before I record, I press the reset button. Also, because I don't necessarily know if this thing is going to be recording or not. Basically because it has little tiny LED indicator switch, which is actually still based inside the camera. So it's just this little hole allowing some light to come out. Not a great thing. So during the day, you have no idea if this thing is even on or if it's recording. So that's why I hit the reset button before I record, and then do the normal button combinations to make sure it does record. And yeah, it's very limited in the amount of functions it's able to do. Yeah, you're gonna get what you pay for. But like I say, if you're just looking for something that's easy, quick, able to record, this is a good camera. Also, one last thing is it can charge while it's on and recording. Some cameras might not be able to have that functionality, but this does, so you can record while it's charging, especially if you're going to be using it for a few hours while you're out driving. It's definitely great to have. So that's this camera right here. Again, you're going to get what you pay for. So $35, you'll get what you need. It does come with a learning curve. It does have very limited functions, but it will work in low light, no light. It has the wide angle, so it'll get the whole thing. And it does record in grainy HD. That's what I'm going to say is grainy HD for that camera. So again, you get what you pay for. Now, let's go into the VANTRUE N2 dual dash cam. So what that means is it has a camera on the front and a camera in the rear. So when you put this on your windshield or on your dash, it will record both forward, outside the vehicle, and inside within the vehicle. So that means that you'll get 2 recordings on at one time. This camera is great. It is a little bit more expensive. This is about $200, but the functionality behind it is much greater. And again, you get what you pay for. So if you put out a little bit more money, you're going to get a lot back. So again, this does have night vision. Basically, all of the footage that you see, whether it be a bad driving caught on camera or anytime it's an actual rideshare ride, it's this camera that's being used. So you can see that the footage is great. It's crisp. It's clear. It's not grainy. It doesn't have any burnt pixels or anything like that, like the other one will. The microphone on this thing works pretty well too. Sometimes the audio that I use for the camera is just this. I also have microphones that are in the vehicle, but sometimes it is just this, and it just depends on how each of them record. But yeah, sometimes it's just this. And the only thing I'll ever do is I might boost the audio a little bit. But other than that, it does record really well. It does pick up everything, so it will pick up road noise too. So, if I'm on the highway going 55, 65 miles an hour, depending on whatever the speed limit is, you will hear that hum in the background and can be overtaking just because it is picking up everything, including outside road noises. Other than that, great camera. Now the front, you can have the option of recording just the front only. So if you wanted to do that, you can record it also in 1440, so like half high def or like 1.5 high def, I guess you could say. But yeah, it can record in 1440, which is a little bit different. But when it's in dual dash, so that means the recording is on both the front and the rear facing cameras. The max you can do is 1080 at 30 frames a second, which is more than enough. You can also drop it down to 720 if you want for more memory storage. It just depends on what options you want to do. Also, one of the coolest things on this is it's got the LCD screen, so you can do all of your functions right from here. If it's recording because the corner screen will be red. They'll let you know. One of the good things too is you can do loop playback. So loop playback just means when it records, it will, or loop recording, I'm sorry. When it records, you can set it so it'll just record if it picks up anything like an accident, glass shatter, some vibration that it normally doesn't have. It'll record and it'll save that footage until you want to get it off. Other than that, all the other footage that'll be on, it'll just go until it'll just keep going. So even if the memory card fills up, it'll just delete that information and then just keep recording while it saves anything that was put into the saved folder. Again, it uses micro SD. I believe this one also is up to 256 gigs. Now, this one you're probably going to get about half the time because it's actually recording both forward-facing and rear-facing than that one, because that one's only recording in one. All right, for charging here, you can charge either via the side with a mini USB or if you attach, it comes with the attachment for putting it onto your windshield, which this will actually slide right in, and the charging port is right up here. So there's no wires then coming out of that, and it actually goes right up and you can hide it. Works really well that way. Couple functionalities that you can purchase actually beyond this camera. It comes with a GPS mount too. So the mount that would go right here that'll put it to the dash can also be GPS. That is going to record your speed, where you're going, and all that stuff. So you can purchase that if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. I don't personally have that. I use my phone for GPS tracking when I'm driving. So it's definitely good if you want to have that. Also, it goes into your cigarette lighter. So if you want to free up your cigarette lighter for like a USB block or something, you can do that by wiring it directly into a fuse. It comes with a fuse block that you can purchase as well too, and that's pretty cool because you can put it right in your fuse, run a ground, and then have it so it'll turn on when the car goes on. You can have it stay on even when you're not driving. It has motion sensor, so if it picks up motion either in the front or the rear, it will record for that amount of time. Might be a short time, or if it has quite a bit of different functionality behind it. So there's a lot more to this camera than what I can talk about, because otherwise this video would be like 30 minutes long. Other than that, yeah, there's not much drawbacks in this at all. I don't think there really is a drawback, honestly, except for the only thing that I do have a recommendation on for maybe a future camera, VANTRUE, if you're watching this, is they have 4 LEDs here for good night vision or no vision, or I'm sorry, no light scenario. The only thing I notice is it does create this ring around. So if you look at some of the videos that I have, you'll see kind of like this like light that's kind of like this, more so up top than at the bottom, but it does have that kind of like halo effect. I played with the lighting effects now in Premiere, so I kind of limited that a little bit, but that is something that I do recommend that should be looked at. But other than that, I mean, this camera is great. I highly, highly, highly recommend this one, just because you're going to get the forward-facing, the rear-facing. You get a lot of functionality behind it. It's smooth, it's crisp, it's clear. You know, there's not a lot of vibrations because that mount is really, really nice. Great audio on it. Good functionality. The screen shows you everything, including what it's recording. Oh, and one last thing on that. You can toggle on and off if you want it to record or with the LCD screen on or off. So at night, it can be a little bit of a distraction. So I just have it shut off after 30 seconds when it turns on. But yeah, great camera. Highly, highly recommend it. VANTRUE, you know, if you're ever watching this video, because I'm not getting paid by them to actually review the camera, but I do like it. Like I say, it is a higher price point, so you get what you pay for. So if you want to go with the $35 one, you can definitely do that. It works well. Does have limited functions, doesn't have the best picture, but if you're just looking for something to have on record for any particular reason, it's a good camera to get it. But if you want to invest in a little bit more, if you want to have some more peace of mind, both having something that's designed to be a dash cam for both interior and exterior shots, as well as more functionality so you can store footage that will be, if there was ever an accident, if there was ever an issue, you know, if you didn't run a stoplight or stop sign or anything, or trying to prove your case if you ever got a ticket. This thing's great. Also, if you drive for Uber and Lyft or just have people in your vehicle, it's a great thing to keep for security purposes, for anything like that. So highly, highly, highly recommend this one just because of its functionality. Now, if you have any other questions beyond this that I couldn't get into today, just drop a comment below. I'll read them. Also, make sure when you are looking for a dash cam for yourself, answer a few questions that you need to ask yourself so you know which one you're getting and which one will be correct. Check out the video that I just did before. I'll put the link in the description below. Also, if you want to look at these a little bit further, I'm going to put the links in the description below for them right to Amazon. So if you want to check them out, you can definitely do that, as well as purchase if you like to. Other than that, that's going to be today's video. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that button, as well as ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. As always, never drink and drive, tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.
Still watching? That's all right. This video might be over, but the fun doesn't have to be. Video up top, if you click that, that'll take you to the last video that we just did. And the video down below is what YouTube thinks you should watch. If you're not a subscriber yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button right over here. And we'll see you next time.